Day, Parsha Chodesh, Shas Varchim, big deal, big deal. Um, no bicycling today, almost for obvious reasons. There's a war going on. There's rockets. Um, Last night, no wake up calls, which was good. And 2 nights this week, we had to get up at 1 in the morning, 4 in the morning, because of the alarms, the alerts going on there. This week, I don't know if you've seen this, it's actually going around, stickle viral, is the satellite that got shot down. So people video driving by and near, not too far from Beit Shemesh, actually, pretty close by. Um, Rocket comes, blows up the satellite, and I'm like, that's where I bicycle. So my mother said this week, be careful with your bicycle. Only go on the roads, don't go in isolated areas. I'm like, oh no, heck with that. I ain't going anywhere. um, that probably would have knocked me over. So I don't think the rock would have hit me square in the head, but definitely the fallout um, would have, because I was maybe 20, 30 feet where I bicycle every other day, twice a week, 3 times a week sometimes. I bicycle out of Beit Shemesh towards Beit Guvrin, 375. So I'm like, I know what that is. so yeah, so we'll do some spinning in the basement downstairs. We got the Netflix going on, so that'll be our our bicycling for the day. But Baruch Hashem, here we are doing okay, and moving on. We have faith in Hashem. We have a moon in Hashem that we're doing the right thing, and we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. We can't have minyanim more than 50 people, so we have sign-up sheets for Shabbos morning. Um, I'm actually going to be tasked with holding the phone at the 7:30 minion. So any alerts that come in, um, I'll have the buzzer on my phone. So I got to come to the phone. This is probably the first time I'm bringing my phone on Shabbos that I'm allowed to. Talk about that later. Either way, Pekudi, and most people kind of tuned out. This is kind of one of the longer parshas, double parsha, hachodesh. And we heard this in Truma. We know this already. Had this last year. We're learning Zvachim, we're learning Menachas. All these things are over and over again to something that we're not part of. We don't even have anymore. Even if we had it, we wouldn't be doing the work. Kohanim do all this work, and while we gave money to it, it's really Bezalel who's putting these things together. Only smart people, only the people that know how to weave and make the krushim and the adanim, people who knew how to melt metal. Most people kind of gave money and they kind of went their own merry way. So how are we in this? Maybe just Kohanim should hear these parshas. We should kind of take a longer nap on Shabbos or something. But it's an interesting idea that we have is that not just the Mishkan is something that we want to make it part of ourselves, but the actions are trickled down to what we are doing each day during the week. The 39 malachos, it wasn't just a Mishkan thing; it's an everyday thing. All 39 malachos, take that back. All actions that we do during the day, driving a car, writing, turning on the computer, putting headphone on, um, writing, giving money, spending on things, eating, all these actions are really trickled back to 39 malachos, is Mori Naim's idea. So everything we do is trickled back to the Mishkan in the putting up the Mishkan. And again, what's the purpose of the Mishkan? The Mishkan, according to most, is a tikkun of the chet of Adam and Chava, a tikkun to the Egel. Egel created this incompletion of the world. The world was complete before the chet of Adam. Now it's a broken world. And the world was completed again by Matan Torah and broken again. And the Mishkan is a way to get back to that place. And the 39 malachos in the Mishkan is supposed to have its completion. Hashem could now live in this world. The world is completed. That's our week. That's the work of each week. The job is not that the Mishkan was great, is that every day we should have a completion of the week, and that's our work in the Mishkan. That's our work from Sunday to Friday afternoon. That's our work. Just like they built the Mishkan and they did actions when it was up and running, the Zvicha, the Menachos, the growing things, the baking of stuff, the writing things down, everything in the Mishkan that took place is our actions now. Same connection supposed to do. So same actions, the same conclusion of each day in the Mishkan is what our each day here is the same thing. So it's not a random ideas, random thoughts, random speech that we're doing during the week, random actions. These are actions that really had a root in the Mishkan, which was supposed to complete the world. And that's kind of what we're doing. So, for example, writing. Most people don't write anymore. We have computers and things like that. They wrote things down in the Mishkan, how much money. They took tallies of things, who's doing what jobs. And our writing is to use the task of writing, take a pen from data intelligence, we used to work, and do something positive with it, whether it's working for something positive, writing down Torah, writing things down that make sense, bringing clarity to things. That's writing, cooking, the same thing. They made menachos. My God, 10 or 11 menachos. A lot of cooking. Lechem apanim, a lot of cooking. What are we doing? Are we cooking because we're just freaking hungry, or we're trying to elevate the world with food, make brachos, singing to Hashem, thank you to Hashem with the brachos, making ourselves satisfied so we can kind of learn Torah and be strong to kind of tackle the day in a positive way. Everything we're supposed to do is really the actions is supposed to have a purpose behind it, which is interesting. I think is that this week, the Tanya started, each day I'm not really consistent with it, unfortunately. I don't have too much time in the day. In the morning, if the Rambam is early or I come to shul early, then I have a few minutes to kind of read over it here. But this week was a very interesting week. Is that the Tanya talks about the importance of actions. Think about it. Isn't thoughts more important? I think about God. I got to really do the actions of giving tzedakah or returning lost objects. My thoughts are good. I have to daven with my mouth. I'm thinking about God. My heart is good. But there's an idea of something called klipas noga. Noga really means like twilight. But the Tanya talks about that this concept of noga, meaning most things in the world are not holy or evil. Yes, treif, basv'chalav, amalek, some things are evil. And then some things are kadosh, tefillin, I guess, Torah is kadosh. But 99.9 things in the world can go either way. It's transparent. It's noga. It's not inherently holy or inherently evil. They're neutral. Let's call it power of the neutral. We have to now, with our actions, make that change. We change the tsura. We change the focus, the form of the Homer, a book. We make it into something Torah. We print something on paper of Torah. We're raising the level of the paper. It was just paper before. The pen, it's just a pen with ink in it. I could use for good or bad. When I put a good machshava behind it, or I do good actions with it, I'm changing the form of it. Money, for example. Oh, the root of all evil. I guess if you're using it for bad stuff, it could be the root of evil. And on the other place, it's actually could be the best thing. You take money that you earn, you spent all the week, every day, you work really hard for the money. As it says, we work hard for the money, and we're using it for mitzvos. So Hashem is, wow, you took this money that you worked so hard for, and you're buying an esrog for $100, 100 shekel. That shows the chashivas of this esrog. It was just, it's not an esrog, it's just bananagrams. You took a regular fruit, and by taking money and paying for it, you're raising the level of a fruit. An esrog isn't holy. You can go outside now in the fields and eat from it. But when you pay money and you make a bracha on it, you're raising the level. So money is actually used for something very holy. So money can go either way. Bad things, money is the root of evil, or good things that I'm raising the importance of money. I'm using something holy with it. The mirrors. Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't sure whether to take the mirrors. The copper in this parsha, the women took the mirrors and they're using it for the kier. And Moshe's like, well, doesn't sound right. Usually a mirror, you're trying to make yourself look good, trying to entice other people. But no, they used it in Mitzrayim for lofty reasons. They wanted to have this devakus with their husbands, this close with their husbands. So they use this for a proper thing to populate the Jewish people. So copper and mirrors, which maybe is not used always the right way, you can actually take copper and make it for something positive. And this is kind of the idea. The material is neutral. What we do with it could change the importance of it. And this is what Baal Tanya talks about: is we take these actions and bring holiness into the physical world. Maranayim has this idea also, is that the Oneg comes b'shvil Yisrael. Shefa is in the world b'shvil Yisrael. So mostly we say shvil is because of, b'shvil the root of. So the Jewish people bring shefa because the Jews. Maranayim has a crazy, interesting idea of shvil, because all those Hebrew speakers here, I'm not one of them, but I know what the shvil means. Shvil is a path. There's this shvil Yisrael. You take a pathway, so it's a street, and then there's shvil. Sometimes you see on the map shvil something or shvil this. It's not really a street; it's a path, a pathway. Shvil Yisrael. There's a shefa because of the path of the Jewish people, meaning we cause shefa to come down. When we do things, we're causing shefa to come down. There's a mashal Murray 9 brings down, is that a king runs the world. But a king is most happy when his kids could do it. Sometimes you go to shul, you're a chazan. Okay, it's great. But you see your son being the chazan, there's certain not special nachas you have. My son could do this, either better than me or could do this. So the king has this nachas that the kids could do something, or my son could run the country. So here too, Bishvil Yisrael, there's a great joy when Hashem sees that the Jewish people could bring shefa through their actions. The Aish came down. We started the carbon, as we'll say in a opening day of the Mishkan. The fire came down when the Jewish people started it, when the Aaron started the avoda. Only then did the shefa and the fire come down. Shefa doesn't come down by itself. Much we like to hope that and think that. It's only if we deserve it, if we need it, if we're zocha to it. If we're not zocha to it, bad things happen in the world. And if we're zocha to have good things happen to the world. It's B'Shvil Yisrael. It's the way that the world is going well. It's because we're doing things to make the world go well. We said last week, we talked about these crowns that came on by Har Sinai. I've got these two crowns, and Moshe takes it away. And after we sinned, they were taken away. But Shabbos they're brought back. Moshe Rabbeinu brings them back to us. And actually, I mentioned this at the table last week, and no one didn't know any of this. But my grandson knew this. Kid's 8 years old, baby Yair, not a baby anymore. Rami Yair. I go, who brings the crowns back? And he goes, Moshe Rabbeinu. And it was a hush because no one knew this. Even the nephews, the Shiva boys didn't know this. I'm like, how'd you know that? He goes, well, my mother told me, or my Rebbe told me. I'm like, wow, no one knew this. That the crowns are taken away, but Moshe's happy to give it back. Yischa Moshe manas chelko. Moshe brings the crowns back to Jewish people. And it's not just by Har Sinai, it's every week. If every week we approach the week that we're elevating the week and we're trying to get to completion of the week, the 39 melachos of the Mishkan, we're trying to work through our actions of the week to prepare for perfection of Shabbos. We get the crowns back. If you're Zocha, you get the crowns back. So every week, Shabbos rolls around. We have no work to do. Why? Because there was no work in the Mishkan. There's no work that needed to be done. Shabbos rolls around, you're complete. And if you actually worked on yourself during the week, then your Shabbos really is complete. You don't think about your job. You don't think about money. You don't think about weekday things because it's done. I'm not done. I got to go back to work on Sunday or Monday. But Shabbos, I'm kind of done. I did my week. If I was really honest with myself and I worked on what I had to work on, I did my job well. All the actions I did were Shem Shemayim. I used the money the right way. I used my car the right way. I used the internet the right way. I used my watch in the right way. I made coffee the right way. All these actions that I did, baking, I did the right way. My Shabbos is complete. I did what I'm supposed to do, and I'm zocha to get the crowns back. And this is the idea that Meor Naim puts in, and I think the Baal Tanya also kind of reflects this as well. This Shabbos is also Shabbos hachodesh. We said that the Mishkan was complete. Shabbos hachodesh is the Shabbos because next week is Rosh Chodesh, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which is the first month of the year. There's a newness, there's a rejuvenation. We end the year with the Adar. We're kind of in the lowest place, and we have Purim. We're the 12th month. There's the newness of the Jewish people. And it's not just a new because people in Mitzrayim heard about Chodesh that they were going to go out to Chodesh for the first time. Rosh Chodesh is new for them. It's new for us. No matter where you are in the week, in the year, bad year, horrible month, a good day, bad day. It's opening day. It's opening day for the Mishkan, for Moshe and Aaron, but Salaf, the Jewish people in the Midbar. It's new for us as well. And that's this rejuvenation that we have. And this idea of hachodesh, Shabbos hachodesh, is literally a start of them. They came out of Mitzrayim from a low level to get to Geula and get to the Torah. Ourselves as well, even though it's rough running into the mamad 2, 3, 4 times a day sometimes. And Givat Shmuel, they have like 90 different sirens that went off. Um, we have a couple of videos of middle learning in our Kinyan Masechta. The siren went off. We had to run in there. I'll attach those videos as well in the chat. So we were kind of learning in the mamad with the kids trying to daven. We're all packed in there, but we're trying to do what we got to do, and we can kind of bring the shepherd to ourselves. If we deserve it, we'll have good things. If we don't deserve it, then good things won't take place. And this is kind of what we're trying to do: is tie this idea of our actions with a chodesh. We're trying to prepare the world for the ultimate redemption, completion. We want the world to be a dwelling place of Hashem, and that's Mashiach. That's when Mashiach's going to come, is when it's a place for the world, for the Hashem to be in the world. Just like the Mishkan was a place for the Shekhinah here, the Beis Hamikdash was a place for Shekhinah here, and that's what we're hoping for. It's only through our actions during the week that gets us to this complete state of Shabbos, to a complete place of Olam Haba, and hopefully we'll bring the Mashiach. And with that, Shabbat Shalom from Beit Shemesh.